Gildan Media, a division of Recorded Books, presents Essential Grammar, a Write It Well Guide, 3rd Revised Edition, by Natasha Terk, narrated by Emily Durante. Introduction. Standard U.S. English can be difficult to write correctly because it doesn't always follow clear-cut rules. That's why countless authors have attempted to help people understand how to write clear, grammatically correct English sentences for audiences in the U.S. Essential Grammar differs from other grammar books in several ways. Business writers are our primary audience. We don't try to cover everything. Instead, we focus on key rules and guidelines that people in business need to know. The book is a self-paced learning program with tests that you can use on your own or with a group. Essential Grammar has just one objective: to help you use correct English in the documents you write for work. Incorrect grammar and punctuation can make you seem uninformed and careless. Correct writing, however, is an excellent way to boost your professional credibility. Each lesson of Essential Grammar contains explanations, illustrations, and exercises. You'll find suggestions for applying what you learn to your own writing and for continuing to improve your understanding of grammar and punctuation. Here's an overview of what you'll find in this workbook. Lesson 1. Terms. In Lesson 1, you'll review terms for the parts of speech and parts of a sentence. When you understand these terms, you'll be ready to master the rest of this book's grammar and punctuation content. Lesson 2. The sentence. Learn to write complete correct sentences by identifying and solving common sentence problems. Lesson 3. Pronouns. Learn how to use correct, bias-free pronouns that refer clearly to specific people and things. Lesson 4. Verbs. Learn how to use the correct forms and tenses of regular and irregular verbs. Lesson 5. Articles. Review the 3 articles used in English: a, an, and the. Lesson 6. Commas. Learn 5 rules for using commas correctly. Commas are the most frequently misused punctuation marks. Lesson 7. Other punctuation marks. Review the correct uses of semicolons, colons, apostrophes, dashes, and parentheses. Lesson 8. Confusing words. Learn to recognize differences between words that writers often confuse. How to get the most out of Essential Grammar. Here are a few things to keep in mind as you work your way through the book. Remember that our guidelines may differ from your past school books or from another grammar book. That's because many language challenges aren't a matter of hard and fast rules, but of style. In this workbook, we present a style that's very widely accepted and easy to apply in business documents in U.S. English. Keep the book as a work of reference. Then, if you forget any guidelines, you can revisit them afterward. Use the book the way it works for you. You could use it as a workbook, taking notes at the end of each lesson to record your own ideas and strengthen your hold on what you've just learned. Or you might jump straight to the topic you find most interesting or challenging in your own writing. Keep in mind, though, that some lessons' content builds on concepts defined in earlier lessons, particularly Lessons 1 and 2. Revisit earlier lessons if any terms or grammar principles sound unfamiliar. Consider using this book with colleagues or to lead a group training. If you're a manager, human resources professional, trainer, or team leader, you can distribute this book to anyone in your organization who writes for work. You can also use the book as the textbook for a workshop. Visit writeitwell.com for information about our facilitator kits. Or please call or email Write It Well for information about how we'd use this book to deliver a workshop for your staff. Schedule time to complete the book. If you're going through the book on your own, set aside time to work on it. Turn off your computer, close your office door, reserve a conference room, find a quiet space, or do whatever you need to do to focus on listening and completing the book's exercises and activities. Give yourself a deadline for completing the course. It's best to complete the entire book within 4 weeks, since much of the book's content depends on your remembering concepts from preceding lessons. Review lessons and repeat exercises when necessary. If you miss too many of a lesson's practice questions, it's a good idea to listen to the lesson again and try the questions again before you move on to the following lessons. Apply what you learn to your own writing. Before you begin the book, gather some samples of your past writing. After completing each lesson, look through your writing for any examples of the forms of problematic language you've just learned about. Revising your own writing puts your grammar knowledge in practice, and this applied revision will help you retain what you learn. Furthermore, you'll make sure your knowledge is relevant to your professional growth. The more you practice, the more your writing will project a consistently informed, professional, and credible image. Summary writing as a review technique. After any lesson or any section of this book, try writing a summary in your own words of the guidelines you've just heard. Experts say you may remember material much better if you write without referring back, listening again to the material only after you've tried to describe it in words that make sense to you. The struggle to remember and summarize information can feel awkward at first, but it can help you remember information later. For instance, when you're writing at work and don't have time to look up a language rule. For more information about essay writing as a self-test technique to strengthen your memory, see Pam Bellick, To Really Learn, Quit Studying and Take a Test, nytimes.com, January 20th, 2011. Part 1. How to analyze the grammar of a sentence and fix sentence problems. 1. Terms. Objectives. In this lesson, you'll learn to recognize different terms that apply to the mechanics of writing. Terms for the parts of speech. Terms for the parts of a sentence. Understanding these terms prepares you to master the rest of the workbook's grammar and punctuation content. Introduction. If you needed to repair a leaky faucet by yourself, you might have to understand the names of its parts and how they fit together properly. That way, when the instructions mentioned a Phillips head screwdriver or a neoprene washer, you'd know which tool or component to pick up. Correct grammar and punctuation are similar. To grasp the mechanics of correct writing, it's very helpful when you can recognize a few specialty terms for the parts of speech and the parts of a sentence. This lesson covers both kinds of terminology. The parts of speech are up first. Describing the parts of speech. In this first half of Lesson 1, you'll review the following parts of speech: nouns, pronouns, verbs, articles, prepositions, conjunctions. Nouns. A noun names a person, place, thing, or idea. You sit on, write with, look at, wear, and hear nouns. You also think and learn with one. Here are some different kinds of nouns. Notice that they're not only things you can experience with your senses. Nouns can also be abstract words for activities, sensations, emotions, or concepts. People. Stranger, manager, Gandhi. Places. New York, Harvard, office. Objects. Computer, train, mountain. Ideas. Accuracy, integrity, wisdom. Feelings. Confusion, joy, interest. Actions. Writing, speech, communication. Qualities. Ambition, sensitivity, intelligence. Senses. Hearing, touch, sight. Practice 1.1. Listen to this excerpt from a performance evaluation and take note of all the nouns. Jennifer worked very hard this quarter to make sure her article on the latest technology was accurate and complete. It took her several weeks to write and revise the article. During that time, she also managed to help a colleague develop a presentation for the conference in Atlanta. To complete the project, she interviewed 3 experts in the field and read every book that had been published on that aspect of the topic. Her persistence paid off in an excellent article that was accepted by a top journal. Overall, I am impressed with her performance, and I consider her a valuable member of the team. Answers. The nouns from the excerpt are Jennifer, quarter, article, technology, weeks, article, time, colleague, presentation, conference, Atlanta. Project, experts, field, book, aspect, topic, persistence, article, journal, performance, member, team. What about adjectives and adverbs? These parts of speech rarely confuse business writers, so we don't cover them in this book. Here are brief descriptions of adjectives and adverbs functions. Adjectives tell you something about a noun or pronoun. In these sentences, the adjectives are emphasized, and they describe the nouns and pronouns. It is true. Lou is an excellent speaker. The new logo will appear in our upcoming newsletter. Adverbs tell you something about a verb. In these sentences, the adverbs are emphasized. The students in the last training session quickly learned the new material. I'm glad to hear that our last conference went well. Pronouns. Pronouns stand in for nouns. Without pronouns, you'd have to keep writing or reading the same noun repeatedly. When Lucy retired, the company gave Lucy the option of continuing to work as an independent consultant. Lucy said that Lucy would work part-time for 6 months, and then Lucy would decide whether to continue the arrangement. The pronouns she and her let you convey the same information with less repetition. When Lucy retired, the company gave her the option of continuing to work as an independent consultant. She said that she would work part-time for 6 months, and then she would decide whether to continue the arrangement. There are many kinds of pronouns. Pronouns can refer to someone or something already mentioned. Singular, this or that. Plural, these or those. Singular, who or whom. Plural, who or whom. Personal pronouns stand for a person, place, thing, or idea. Singular, I or me. Plural, we or us. Singular, you. Plural, you. Singular, he or she or it. Plural, they. Singular, him or her or it. Plural, them. And possessive forms of these words show ownership. Singular, my or mine. Plural, our or ours. Singular, your or yours. Plural, your or yours. Singular, his or her or hers or its. Plural, their or theirs. Some of these words that show ownership are termed possessive adjectives instead of possessive pronouns. That's because these words tell you something about a noun, whose it is. My suggestion is to modify the testing process. Please send me your resume. Belinda finally finished her assignment. I am glad that you found our website easy to navigate. The managers will hold their meeting tomorrow. In this book, we use the term possessives for both possessive pronouns such as mine and possessive adjectives such as my. Indefinite pronouns stand for an unspecified person, place, thing, or idea. Nobody signed up to manage the fund drive. One of the candidates has 10 years' experience. Here are some of the most frequently used indefinite pronouns. Singular, another, anybody, anything, each, either, everyone, everything, much, nobody, no one, nothing, one, some, somebody, something. Plural, both, few, many, others, several. Either singular or plural. All, any, plural verbs have become increasingly acceptable with any of. More, most, neither. The safest and most traditional choice is to keep neither singular. None, plural verbs have become increasingly acceptable with none of. Some. In these paragraphs, take note of the pronouns and possessives. Then check your answers. As part of our proposal, we are requesting at least 10 laptops. They will be used to provide internet access and skills training to approximately 60 low-income families. The families who live in the Oak Grove housing complex will be able to sign up to use the computers at their community center on weekdays between 7 a.m. and 11 p.m. This means computers will be available before and after the average workday. In addition to the computers, we are seeking funds for further software training. Technical expertise and instruction will be provided by several of our volunteers. Their names appear in Appendix 2. Answers. The pronouns and possessives are our, we, they, who, their, this, we, several, our, their. Verbs. Verbs usually convey the action of a sentence. Action verbs usually show motion, activity, or decision. Sophia purchased a new copier for her department. Ken Mueller screens every job application. The consultant has so many clients because she remembers important details. Linking verbs connect a noun or pronoun with a description. The words after linking verbs provide information about the preceding nouns or pronouns. I am finally ready to present the budget to the rest of the staff. Our supervisor sounds well prepared for our staff meeting. Your payment became late on August 7. Rewriting the procedures manual was one of the most challenging jobs we've ever taken on. Infinitive verb forms. It can be easy to confuse infinitive verb forms with finite verbs. Infinitives are the form of a verb preceded by the word to, as in to be, to confuse, to make, or to run. Examples of finite verbs are I am, they confuse, we made, and she ran. Infinitives can't take the place of a finite verb in a simple sentence. For instance, you can say I am or I run, but you can't say I to be or I to run. You have to add a finite verb to the infinitive to get a complete sentence, as in I like to run. The following sentences contain infinitive and finite verbs, which are both emphasized. Sam mentioned his new ability to use spreadsheets. Before the meeting, I asked for a moment to introduce our new associate. Our goal is to provide you with that information immediately. Sometimes the same word can be an action verb or a linking verb in different sentences. He smells the roses every morning. The office smells like pine cones now. In the first sentence, smells is an action verb because it represents the activity of inhaling a scent. In the second sentence, smells is a linking verb because it connects the noun office with the descriptive information about its fragrance. Helping verbs work with other verbs to indicate tense or time frame, whether something has already happened, is happening, or will happen in the future. In these examples, the helping verbs come before the verbs whose tenses they help indicate, which are emphasized. We have received about 5 responses per day. Only one of my clients has delivered a promotional package. According to the schedule, the team will meet in 6 weeks to review its progress. Practice 1.3. Part 1. Action verbs are the easiest verbs to recognize. Take note of all of them in these sentences. 1. To illustrate his idea, David made a paper model and placed it at the center of the conference table. 2. Every Friday, each sales representative telephones at least 15 prospects and makes appointments for the following week. 3. Josh is happy. He said that he appreciated the fact that we featured his name on the poster. Part 2. Take note the linking verbs in these sentences. 1. Ilana Russo is the primary candidate for the information services position. 2. You were the first person to notice the problem. 3. I spoke to the sales clerks. They are aware of the robbery and seem unwilling to work in the store by themselves. Part 3. Fill in the blanks to complete these sentences with the helping verbs will, have, or has been. 1. On Monday, Janet Larkin blank speak at the meeting. 2. The heating system blank serviced 3 times this year. 3. Our managers blank reviewed your proposal. Part 4. Take note of all the verbs in the following email. 2 sales reps. From Joaquin Miller. Subject, quarterly sales meeting. Our quarterly sales meeting will be on Monday, June 22nd at 10 a.m. in the boardroom. We will discuss last quarter's sales and set objectives for the next quarter. The meeting was moved to Monday because people complained that Wednesday meetings interfered with travel schedules. The subject is still open, however, and I have allocated time on the agenda for it. Also, there will be time during the meeting for the discussion of any questions you have about your assignments. This is an important meeting, and I hope everyone will attend. If you have a conflict, please notify Tim immediately. Answers. Part 1. The action verbs are emphasized in these sentences. Linking verbs and infinitives are not. 1. To illustrate his idea, David made a paper model and placed it at the center of the conference table. 2. Every Friday, each sales representative telephones at least 15 prospects and makes appointments for the following week. 3. Josh is happy. He said that he appreciated the fact that we featured his name on the poster. Part 2. The linking verbs are emphasized in these sentences. 1. Ilana Russo is the primary candidate for the information services position. 2. You were the first person to notice the problem. 3. I spoke to the sales clerks. They are aware of the robbery and seem unwilling to work in the store by themselves. Part 3. The helping verbs that complete these sentences are before the verbs whose tenses they indicate, which are emphasized. 1. On Monday, Janet Larkin will speak at the meeting. 2. The heating system has been serviced 3 times this year. 3. Our managers have reviewed your proposal. Part 4. All the verbs are emphasized in the following email. 2. Sales reps. From Joaquin Miller. Subject, quarterly sales meeting. Our quarterly sales meeting will be on Monday, June 22nd at 10 a.m. in the boardroom. We will discuss last quarter's sales and set objectives for the next quarter. The meeting was moved to Monday because people complained that Wednesday meetings interfered with travel schedules. The subject is still open, however, and I have allocated time on the agenda for it. Also, there will be time during the meeting for the discussion of any questions you have about your assignments. This is an important meeting, and I hope everyone will attend. If you have a conflict, please notify Tim immediately. Articles. An article is a word that points to a following noun. There are 3 articles in the English language: a, an, and the. Some languages have many more article forms, and some languages don't have any articles. Knowing when and how to use English articles is often difficult for people whose first language either has no articles or uses articles differently from the way English speakers use them. Regardless of your first language, see if you can easily note the articles in these sentences. You will find my copy of the report on the top shelf in my office. Henry will need to rent a car at the San Diego airport. We will need an extra staff member next week while the new customer service representatives attend an employee orientation session. Here are the articles: the, a, the, an. Prepositions. Prepositions connect nouns and pronouns to other words and groups of words, showing their relationships to one another. As a rule, prepositions answer one of these questions about the noun or pronoun: where, when, or how. In the examples that follow, the emphasized prepositions answer one of those questions about the nouns and pronouns which follow in the sentence. Where. Sung Lee moved her office across the patio. Robert put his briefcase under the desk. Doris moved her furniture into the empty cubicle. Charles moved his car to the lower parking lot. When. Sung Lee will go to the branch office after the meeting. Before the meeting begins, Pete and Marcus will prepare the slides. Doris will be busy with the phone conference until the meeting starts. I expect Charles to arrive at noon. How. Sung Lee worked for 2 hours without a break. Pete worked on the manual for 3 hours by himself. Doris worked with Leon to get the project completed. Despite the delays, Charles managed to meet the deadline. Here's a list of common prepositions. Note that some of them are 2 or 3 words long. About, above, across, from, after, along with, among, around, as well as, at, because of, before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, by, concerning, despite, down, during, Except. Except for. For. From.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?